go.
Hey guys, it is the Davey Damage Show once again. Huge thanks for tuning in to see part 2 of Jamie's Star Wars collection. Now if you missed the first video, the link's down in the description. Make sure you check that one out. Also, if you have a collection you want me to check out, be sure to hit me up here on YouTube or on the Facebook, whatever's easiest for you, and I'll come along and steal what I can. Anyway, we're going to get back into it, so let's go.
In the front there we've got the Darth Vader Signature Series Hasbro lightsaber with a Codebook Darth Vader just sort of tucked down in there for somewhere to store him. And along the front we've got lots of Jax Pacific figures. I'm a big fan of the Jax figures. As I say, size counts, and so yeah, I've tried to sort of collect one of everything that I could get my hands on. I know there's a few that aren't here, but for the most part this is what I've collected so far. We've got sort of tucked away in the middle here is C-3PO, and that's a Sideshow Collectibles 1:1 scale C-3PO. And again, they were supposed to release a really high shine version of him, and this is the dull version, but they cancelled the high shine, leaving me no option but to get the dull version. Okay, so these are the my vintage boxed 12-inch figures. I bought these all from one collection, and realistically I only started out with the Vader. Now it took me a little while to buy these because they're pretty expensive, but and I didn't know, I don't normally collect 12-inch vintage figures. Modern, yes, but vintage, not so much. And I actually used to play with the 12-inch Darth Vader when I was about 3 and 4 years of age. I used to borrow it from the kid next door. So when the opportunity came to buy one, well, I was all over it, and I didn't hold back. And so now I have one, and these are in pretty decent shape. Little bit of box wear, but yeah, they're mine. They're special to me, so I hang on to them. Okay, so up here we've actually got Sideshow dioramas, and this is Empire Strikes Back, Luke and Vader. Luke still with his arm. This is quite a heavy diorama, polystone, and yeah, I'm a bit of a fan. Some of the scale on Vader is out just a touch, but on the whole it's actually a really nice scene that captures a pretty pivotal moment, I guess, in the series. Okay, so I love aliens, and you don't find any more aliens than in the Jedi Order. And so here we've got Ki-Adi-Mundi at the very back, Kit Fisto in the middle, Qui-Gon Jinn at the front. Here is the Sideshow, Sideshow exclusive San Diego Comic-Con Ayla Secura, and then Plo Koon at the very front, each with their lightsabers drawn. They're all Sideshow figures, and I'm actually a really big fan of all these figures. I didn't have any complaints with these. They used to sell quite cheaply, so I was able to pick these up for a reasonable price. Probably the most expensive one in here is the San Diego Comic-Con Ayla Secura, and you know, I think she set me back about 350 Australian dollars, where the rest were about 140 Australian dollars. But yeah, Jedi's cool as fuck. Okay, so more Jedis in my Jedi Order. As you saw by the first cabinet, it seemed to be all the bad guys. Well, this is all the good guys. And at the very back, I loved the clone era Obi-Wan Kenobi, the General Kenobi all armored up in the clone armor. And then we've got in the middle there Hoth Luke. That's a new sculpt by Sideshow Collectibles, far more accurate than the one you probably see to the rear, which is actually Return of the Jedi Luke. The facial sculpt there is actually quite poor and quite average. Thank God Hot Toys have announced that they are going to release a new Jedi Luke sculpt, so that'll be amazing. Mace Windu at the front. I know people are fairly down on Mace Windu. I actually enjoy the character Mace Windu. He's intense. To me, he seems really wise and calculated. And, you know, Samuel L. Jackson, nobody says motherfucker like Samuel L. Jackson. In the front there, Anakin Skywalker as a Jedi. You know, had to include him. He was part of the Jedi Order. So we didn't get a huge offering in the original trilogy of Rebel military. When we did, it was really, I guess, at the start of Episode 4 with the Tantive. So at the very front there, we've actually got the Tantive soldier, Rebel soldier, and Captain Antilles. In the rear, we've actually got the three variants that Sideshow did of the Commandos, the Endor Commandos that were under command by General Han Solo. And in the front, we've got the Sideshow Collectibles Luke X-Wing pilot. Really cool figures, and I really enjoyed collecting them. I've just heard, I guess, speculation that the Commando at the back with the white beard, people have actually said that that's actually supposed to be Clone Commander Rex. So whether there's any more truth to that would be interesting to see. So and at the bottom, no Jedi Orders complete without Jedi Master Yoda. And we've actually got 3 Yodas in there. 2 of them are Sideshow, and the one in the back in the box is actually Medicom. And it's more of a static figure. I don't think it has a whole lot of accuracy to it. And then the Hot Toys Chewbacca, and I popped him down here because we obviously see him with Master Yoda in Episode 3, and I thought, well, you know, he needs to be behind glass because of the real hair. I didn't want a lot of dust getting in there, and I don't have many glass cabinets, but that Chewbacca, dead set, impressed me a heck of a lot, and I'm really happy that that's one figure that I bought. It was well worth the price tag, in my opinion. Okay, so when I started collecting premium format figures, one of the earlier figures that I did collect was robotic Darth Maul, or Darth Maul with robotic legs. And this figure came out by Sideshow Collectibles, 1/4 scale, and fell in love. I did miss out on getting the exclusive with a really angry face, but honestly, probably one of my more favourite purchases. The detail and the size of this figure, just incredible, and you know, what more would you want in a figure? In the comic books, this was actually really sort of in the Legends series. This was actually one of those stories that I really enjoyed when Darth Maul went to Tatooine to kill Luke, and lo and behold, Obi-Wan Kenobi was right beneath his feet and erupted out and got into a mad lightsaber fight, and he eventually killed Darth Maul. But yeah, what a piece. Absolutely love this one. Okay guys, so Force Unleashed figures. Love these, or Star Wars Unleashed figures. I love these. They're about a 6-7 inch scale figure, and the detail, as Davey and I was just discussing, they're very McFarlane-esque type figures. Super detailed, sort of dynamic, explosive poses. Box art is incredible. You know, I guess that's one thing I would love to have seen more of in the modern figures. You know, Force Awakens and Rogue One. I think that they'd be a stellar modern wave to collect. They can fetch a bit of a price these days, so that's probably the downside, that if you haven't got these and you do want to collect them, they can really cost you some serious coin. Mine are in relatively decent condition. But I've got a few loose, and then I've got these ones still on the card. Okay, at the top there I've got version 1 Sideshow Collectibles Darth Vader, and again, really impressive stature. Just a fraction smaller than the Hot Toys. Then I've got Jack Specific Yoda. In the front is another diorama, and that's Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader. And you can see the fairly static poses. You know, that fight wasn't super active and exciting. They were really kind of trying to feel each other out more so and go for the kill.
That's probably my favourite thing with the hallway scene of Rogue One. Given that it now in canon, it was the previous fight to this one, the previous lightsaber battle, sorry, to this one. it to me really takes away from this battle, because it makes this almost silly in the ability that you see Vader's at that point in time.
Yeah.
To then do this little gingerly touching tips fight that this became.
Yeah, I think it's, if we look at it, very similar to how we saw in Clone Wars with, Star Wars Rebels recently with Obi-Wan Kenobi fighting Darth Maul. These two guys were impeccable swordsmen at the peak of their level, and I think Vader couldn't afford to be anywhere near as flashy as what he would be with, I guess, unskilled.
A hallway full of bottoms.
Yeah. So, you know, he definitely had to be very, very cautious. One wrong lightsaber blow and Obi-Wan might have had him. Hot Toys Obi-Wan up top. There we go. Yeah. A magic figure. Down to some of my 40th anniversary figures that I purchased, I guess, pre-Australian release. Sideshow figures, sideshow figure there, the AT-AT pilot, part of my Navy that I couldn't fit in the cabinet. Hot Toys Sand Trooper. Now that was my first opportunity to get a Hot Toys, sorry, to get a Sand Trooper. The Sideshow one at the time was just fetching crazy money, and we've got Hot Toys Han Solo, and the sculpt is really impressive. I'm actually really happy. The paint application is first class, and you'll see shortly I've got another A New Hope Han Solo by Sideshow, and the accuracy is just not there. So what I've got here is Sideshow Collectibles Princess Leia, Han Solo, and then we've got the Leia Boushh Bounty Hunter from Return of the Jedi's, and that's got her normal head as well as the armoured head, and I just chose to put the armoured head on there for the disguise. Medicom, C-3PO and R2-D2. I picked those up in Japan while I was there a couple of years ago, and at the front, Sideshow Jawas, and their eyes light up. They're actually really cool. However, what I will say is that Sideshow cheaped out on the bases, sadly, and the figures can be a little flimsy. The posing on those isn't the best. It's just how I was able to get them to stand on the shelf without falling over.
Rolling, this is my favourite.
Okay, so yeah, what I've got: Forlom, Medicom, Boba Fett, Cad Bane with the disguise, and Sideshow Collectibles Boba Fett, and then in the very corner here we got the Bith Cantina musician.
You can just hear the song now.
Yeah, Tusken Raider by Sideshow. This is version 1 of Bosk by Sideshow, so the new paint application is just a little darker than this one. We have Bib Fortuna, and I've kind of got his hand out, money for intel sort of stuff, and then the Gamorrean Guard, and I've got a real soft spot for Gamorrean Guards. So yeah, big fan, and I've given him the pole arm. Down the front here, just a couple more loose vehicles. I've got plenty of them and run out of places to put them all. Here's premium format C-3PO and R2-D2, and they did a few versions of this, and they've also just recently done a second release. It's fully functional. Batteries in C-3PO's eyes have just died, so I need to replace those, but a really neat looking premium format. Yeah, very showy, quite an expensive piece to buy them as a singular figure. I think it cost me a couple of years ago around $750 Australian dollars, but yeah, again, one of those pieces, when I get a really nice place to display it, I'll pop that on display. Okay, so a couple more premium format figures, and premium formats are 1/4 scale, so we've got Stormtrooper and Snowtrooper. Behind the back is the book of the Imperial Navy. Just like the holocron we saw with the Sith, this makes a lot of lights and sounds and noises and things like that, and reveals the manual. The General Giant TIE Fighter pilot bust, again, really kind of cool little bust, that one. A lot of those General Giant busts I think were around 90 to 120 Australian dollars. For that price point, they're pretty decent. Here is a lot of Black Series, and I've got quite a lot, not all of it on display, but just a few bits and pieces. I actually have all the Black Series Blue and Black Series Orange complete, and both in 6" and in 3 3/4" scales. Down the bottom there, we've got the Battle for Endor scene, which was a really cool little Toys R Us exclusive. Just slightly north here, we got I think it's Shay Vizsla. From memory, she's Star Wars The Old Republic bounty hunter, went by the name of Torch, and you could see her in the promotional videos and movies for the game Star Wars The Old Republic. But really cool character, and you know, wasn't going to pass up that bust. Here we've got Anakin Skywalker, and I believe that might be the Sith Lord Anakin Skywalker, newly anointed Darth Vader, and that's in Sideshow Premium format 1/4 scale. Here's the new version of Boba Fett, 1/4 scale Premium format by Sideshow, and I missed out on the first one, but I wasn't missing out on the second one, and a much more dynamic pose, and I've got the exclusive gun in his hands. That figure actually comes with 2 different rifles, and so I've got the exclusive rifle in his hand. Okay, so that's a Star Wars Lego UCS TIE Fighter, and just didn't have enough room over in the other area, so it's sitting on the floor over here. I have so much in storage, and I'm moving stuff in and out of here all the time, so wish I had more storage space, but you know, I have 2 sheds, and this room is 3/4 full, the other one is chockers, and I just cannot display things because I want to buy things, so I don't have the money for storage shelves and cabinets when Sideshow want to release a cool as fuck premium format figure every few weeks. Okay, at the top there, Darth Malgus. As I said before, I'm a subscriber and I play Star Wars The Old Republic. I've been playing Sith Marauder for a long time, and Darth Malgus is one of the main antagonists in the game. Here we've got a lot of Star Wars, the Vintage Collection vehicles, Snowspeeder, X-Wing, Luke's Land Speeder, a couple of General Giant busts there at the front, a Star Wars Spaceships game, the Tantive 4, and then we've got some mini rigs from the original vintage line that I've got. I picked up fairly cheap at the markets. Here we've got the TIE Interceptor. That was an Amazon exclusive. We've got a couple of Jawas, and their eyes light up and they're pretty cool. We've got the mail away Boba Fett, Endor ATST crew, which was a Kmart exclusive, and the Scout Walker, which in Australia we had loads of. They sat on shelves for a very long time. Okay, so yeah, we've got the General Giant diorama set. That's Boba Fett with 2 stormtroopers walking the floating Han Solo and Carbonite down to Boba Fett's ship Slave 1. We have the Amazon exclusive, the Vintage Collection Slave 1 in the back. We also have the mail away Boba Fett, which is the same as the original vintage one from back in the day, so that they must have got access to the molds or done something there. But and then a little General Giant mini bust at the front, and on top there we've got the Bounty Hunter Codebook. Again, another one of those really cool books that you can see lights and sirens and everything when you open it up. Uses a key card to access, which was kind of a really cool little novelty. And then we've got some of my Orange Series sort of starting to creep in, the Orange Series 6", which I I was one of those guys who bought them straight off the shelf. I didn't pay collector prices. I guess that's a hint for those people who are starting out collecting that if it's a format or something new that you haven't seen previously, chances are it's going to be worth money down the track. And Star Wars started the 6-inch figure line with Orange Series, and so I made sure I got one of each of those figures, and they've now proven to be worth quite valuable, very sought after. Okay, so yeah, and we've got some more Black Series Blue just in here. Scout Trooper set. We've got Han and Greedo. More of my Black Series Orange 6-inch, and we've got a Darth Maul there from Episode 1. Jabba the Hutt 6-inch. Just the regular version, not an exclusive or anything like that. But a good little piece all the same. I've still got some more the vintage collection here. So Jedi Starfighter, a 30th anniversary Y-wing at the top. The AT-AT, I actually have 2 of those boxed. They are huge. So much bigger than the earlier version. Ewok Assault Catapult, you know, these are in mint condition. We look after those. The mini busts there at the top. Heading further down into the vintage collection figures. Now, you'll probably notice most of mine are unpunched, and quite a lot of these figures are worth a lot of money. I only saw 2 days ago Ahsoka Tano's worth maybe $280 to the right person. The Emperor's Royal Guard's worth big bucks. Some of these are the first time these characters have been made into an action figure, such as Bastila Shan from Knights of the Old Republic. So really cool figures. I love this whole series. Lots of diversity, not a lot of double ups in the range. The soldier there in the corner, the Republic soldier, highly sought after. Again, mine's unpunched. Can be worth big bucks. A bit of a favourite because I play the game. Darth Malgus as the action figure, and that's the first version of him. Shay Vissler as her character debut, and then what I really liked was actually an evil grin Darth Sidious. And they did 2 versions of this, one without the angry face and one with the angry face, and I loved the angry face version. Okay, so this is the start of some of my Episode 1. I actually own all the figures in the line, and here we've got the Theed Hangar and you know, some of the larger sets. General Giant Qui-Gon Jinn at the front, and General Giant Darth Maul that I recently acquired. I bought that one second hand, and again the owner had really taken quite good care of it, so you got to be cautious with second-hand items. You know, they can just be quite worn or damaged. You just have to be really cautious and look over them. We get down into a few of the little box sets. A Force Unleashed clone trooper there. The Darth Maul with the Sith Interceptor as a little ship, and then we've got Kit Fisto by General Giant in the bottom there. Jar Jar Binks, yeah, everybody's favourite Gungan, not. And then we've got Sebulba's Pod Racer, into Sideshow Mythos figures or statues, and I love this range. I wish they'd do more of it. Really different look and take on popular characters. So we've got Darth Maul and Darth Vader. The Vader's quite, you know, there's a few options on how you can display the figure. Because I have Vader wearing his helmet quite a lot, I wanted to go the Vader without the helmet for just a moment, and I think it looks sexy as hell. It's a really cool statue of Vader. Into the front here we got a Codebook. I don't know if I say that right, but that's how I say it. Darth Maul, and I think that's sort of him from his apprentice days. But again, a really cool, angry looking figure with his lightsaber. Into Episode 1 figures, as I say, I've actually completed the line, and I do have a few of the variants in there. As you'll see by some of the figures I got on the front, I actually grabbed them from Japan at a really good price. In Australia, we tend to have to pay quite a bit for things. 500 yen, I think, was about $7.50, $8, I think, at the time when I purchased it for a Queen Amidala with Ascension gun. So really good value. R2B1's highly sought after. TC14, again, highly sought after. And we've also got the Darth Sidious Holo, again, one of those figures that everybody seems to like. Adi Gaia and Kiadi Mundi. Alright, so yeah, just got some of the episode 1 packs and Sagas packs there. You know, I'm down to putting things on the floor because we just don't have the room. You know, the Royal Naboo Starship, which is really quite cool. I have that loose, and the big Legacy Millennium Falcon. That's the big bugger, and it is huge. Probably one of those things that really impressed me about that was the drop-down lights. When you lower the drawbridge, I guess, or the little the ramp to go into the cruiser, it actually drops down with 2 little drop lights either side of the ramp for them to run up and makes a cool sound. Yeah, just one of those little features, but it's a huge piece, really hard to display. You can't put it onto shelves because of the width. Okay, so yeah, some more of the Navy stuff up the top there. Couple First Order pilot, TIE Fighter pilot, and Vader's X-Wing, Vader's TIE Fighter and a regular TIE Fighter. The 500th figure Darth Vader, and a couple of I guess like a microfighter action fleet TIE fighters, into the original trilogy collection figures. These are actually quite cool, and they did a couple of different runs, so if you can see some slight packaging variants amongst them. But a really sort of decent figure line, you know, good variety, some good detail in the figures themselves. You know, fair amount of articulation, but the package was really cool, much more traditional than some of the package that that came earlier. Okay. So Blue Border Sagas, you're looking around 2003, 2004. I have all the figures from that era as well. Probably of note is the Commander Jorg Sakul. Now, if we read that backwards, we get George Lucas. So that's quite a neat little figure. In here as well, Ifont Mon. This figure has some serious weight to it. It's quite a heavy figure. It was a fan's choice, but a really nice figure all the same. And I believe he might have been, yeah, it says here, Jabba's head of security. So I would say he was in Jabba's palace at some point.
He did a pretty shitty job.
Yeah, let's let Bib Fortuna let Luke Skywalker through the front door, shall we? Yeah. And then what we've got here is a really nice diorama piece. I believe this is Sideshow, and I bought this again secondhand from a collection, and it's obviously an iconic scene. Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Anakin Skywalker on Mustafar, basically floating on a riverbed of lava, and I thought this was a really nice piece. I don't have, I guess, a lot from episode 3 in my collection, but this is one of those pieces that I jumped at the chance to own. Okay, so I kind of missed a lot of the Legacy collection, but what I did get was this amazing Crimson Empire set. I bought that from the Mega Toy Collector Fair, which is a local toy collector fair here in South Australia. And the Crimson Empire was a comic series released by Dark Knight Comics, I believe it is. Yeah, really nice set, and I scored that. These Hoth sets I bought in Los Angeles while I was there, and brought them back to Australia. At the time, we didn't have them in the country, but we did get them shortly afterwards. I wasn't phased anyways. I was happy to have them. Here, the Jocasta Nu, I believe that's an Entertainment Earth exclusive, and Sagas 2003-2004 figures. I have all of these figures also, and I've tried to sort of put a lot of my different Jedi aliens at the front. That's how I like to display them. And we've got at the bottom here Sagas gold border, and they're quite cool figures. I have all of those as well. R3PO is a nice one to have, a little bit different when you see C3PO in a different colour. So this is premium format Chewbacca. As I said probably many times, I'm a big fan of Chewbacca. The sculpt isn't too bad, and for a molded and sculpted hair, it's actually quite a nice figure. I love the base. It's like a New Hope base. Yeah, and he's got his bowcaster that Han Solo picks up in The Force Awakens and finally realizes how cool it is. Looks like one of the most clumsiest old school weapons that you could come across, but yeah, it packs a punch. Okay, so I've got Han Solo premium format, and while it's not the most accurate, it's actually a pretty decent figure. It kind of catches a bit of the swagger that Han Solo has, and that was I believe maybe the second premium format figure that I actually purchased. It's been a bit of a fan. Hasn't aged that well, sadly. One of his boots has got a few marks on it, but other than that, it's actually not a bad figure. So premium format, old Ben Kenobi, played by Sir Alec Guinness. That actually goes in with the, it connects to the version 1 Darth Vader premium format that I have, and forms that iconic battle scene between the two with their lightsabers crossed. And I've also got premium format Luke Skywalker Farm Boy. Pops always sneak into people's collections. Mine's no different. I've got stacks of them. I buy them for my kids, and yeah, so you'll see that old school Luke that I said I was a big fan of. He's snuck in there. In the front, we've got the Gentle Giant pose, the Luke Skywalker with that iconic pose, thrusting the lightsaber into the sky. And behind we have the Book of the Jedi, or the Jedi Code, in again one of those really cool noise-making, light-showing display boxes. So what we've got here is the Battle for Endor. This is a 30th anniversary set. Now I bought this one from the Gold Coast at Pacific Fair, and there was two sets made, the Battle for Endor and the Battle for Hoth. The Hoth one wasn't available, but I think I picked this one up for about $90, and it's actually a real favourite of mine. I've got a few friends that are really big fans of this set, and yeah, just it's a good all-round little set. It does display nicely, and hence it's got a shelf of its own. So 2006 Sagas, I have all of the figures in this series. It was the first series I actually completed as when I started collecting back in 2010, and back then I was able to get quite a large volume of figures for quite cheap, and so I was buying large volumes for really very little outlay, and so yeah. This was the first set, and it's quite a large set. I believe there's about 78, 79 figures in the mainline series, without all your little sub-series figures getting in there, like epic battles, and there's two other little sub-series that they do that are about maybe 7 or 8 figures long. Okay, so we got the Lambda class shuttle, or the Emperor shuttle. I actually had an original vintage one as a child, but when you have 4 brothers, or when you want 4 boys, sorry, your toys don't tend to last too long. And so when I got the opportunity, this is a Sagas, the Saga collection 2006 version, and I've got a original vintage Royal Guard standing in front. The statue is Gentle Giant, and that's a Royal Guard. In the back, some more of the Saga collection, I guess little sets, and so what we can see is the Death Star briefing with all the different admirals, and that Vader comes in and chokes one out, and then we've got the Bounty Hunter pack as seen in The Empire Strikes Back, and then finally the Republic Commando squad. Now we saw those guys appearing in the Republic Commando computer game that I think might have been on Xbox, or original Xbox, or Xbox 360. At least that's what I had it on. But really cool figures and really well displayed. So yeah, Power of the Force, it's not something I went out of my way to collect, but it just kept coming up all the time, and so I nabbed some really cool bits and pieces. What I've got tucked away in there is the General Giant Leia, Slave Leia bust, and Ula bust. In the front there I've got Jabba the Hutt. Now that's Legacy. So yeah, one of those pops snuck in there again, Max Rebo, and not a bad little pop, that one. We've got the band in the front here, made by General Giant. I believe it's the original band, as seen prior to the Lucas cuts and edits. And then we've got a few different vehicles and scenes in the back there, sort of tucked away. Okay, so what's everywhere? Force Awakens, and I've gone out and bought quite a bit of it. It's all really common stuff. There's not anything rare about it. Some of the stuff I did buy from overseas, Walmart and everything, at really good prices. I have a US postal address that I use. In the front there we've got Hot Toys Rey and BB-8, and that is just a stellar figure. I mean, I don't think any camera is going to capture it, you know, the full appreciation of the work that's gone into it, but
especially,
I love it.
Particularly when I'm the one holding the camera. So.
Finn. Now Finn looks like an absolute beast. You know, he's the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger in the figure, but I'm not complaining, he's still pretty cool. You know, all the details there, even the material, it's such really nice material that they've made the stuff out of. You've got Millennium Falcon there. You can see the animatronic Yoda's just sort of sneaking in there as well. We've got two of those, one for my kids and one for me, as is the way.
That's how you collect.
Yeah. What we got there is you know, some more Force Awakens figures. The Entertainment Earth exclusive Assault Walker, and then the regular one underneath. We've got the Figure Arts, SH Figure Arts, Kylo Ren. That was a gift from my brother, looking after me. And some more Hot Wheels cars. You know, they produce quite a variety for the Force Awakens, so it was kind of cool to nab some of those up. Now down low here we got some more of the figures. We actually have the First Order Legion box set, and all the figures are inside there. We've got a few loose figures out the front, and we've got the Epic Battles TIE Fighter, First Order TIE Fighter behind. That was Toys R Us exclusive. A couple of 12-inch figures there, and some more Hot Toys. More Hot Wheels. And we've got the regular TIE, some more Hot Wheels. We got them in Woolworths, but they were just a 6-inch standard figure in the First Order Snow Trooper and the First Order Trooper. I think they were like $10 each, and when you were jumping around doing your shopping. Some more of your packs and vehicle sets, and so a couple of loose figures. And I like the idea of having a few loose figures. My kids come in and have a bit of a bo peep around, and it's good for them to start putting their hands on them. Maybe they'll develop an appreciation for toys also.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm extremely fucking jealous of Jamie's amazing Star Wars collection. Of course, if you missed the first video, links down in the description. While I've got you, make sure if you're on Facebook, you head over and find the Davey Damage Show Facebook page. I mostly just steal really fucked up memes and post them, and the occasional toy video. Also, head out and check the Toy Power podcast. That's run by Ben and Trent and Frank and Darren. There's some awesome guys, and I'm going to be on an upcoming episode. If not, it's already out, so make sure you check that out and you might be able to find it. Anyway, if you got a collection you want me to check out, make sure you hit me up here on YouTube or on Facebook. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.